What's going on, everybody? So welcome back to Haywire RC, and it's about time I got a trophy truck video. So here's what I got. As you know already, this body is magnetic. Not sure how long that'll last. I need quite a few magnets to hold this thing down. So here's the trophy truck right here. LRP .28 with the Screamer 93 works exhaust. And the transmission is some sort of HSP, just Chinese thing, 40 bucks, pretty cheap. Even though actually, looking at it, I feel like it's a little expensive for 40 bucks, but whatever. Does its job. Then the clutch bell right there, that's from an LST. Then the flywheels from the HPI Savage. I was able to get that made up pretty good. I haven't decided truly on electronics. I am running EcoPower steering and throttle servos, but I don't really know about my transmitter and receiver yet. I was thinking of using JR, but it's pretty old. I'd like to get a newer set. So I might look at some of the DX5 Spectrum stuff. Save up for some of those. They're around like 200 bucks, I think. I could also get the DX4, or the DX4S, which the DX4S is pretty much a clone of the DX3S, except it's black and got a different wheel and no antenna. Which I really like these. Also, the gas tank, that's from a Truggy, low-C Truggy. And I have hot racing shocks. Those are Jado arms. I'll upgrade them to aluminum soon. Then the rear axle is an SSD rear axle with a mixture of low-C and axial parts in there. I don't even remember. It also has a hot racing locker, so there's no differential in the rear end. And the wheels right here, these are low-C Tenacity wheels, which I ended up painting them, which looks pretty good. Just did like a tuxedo black metallic paint on it. Not sure how long it'll last, but it looks good right now. I'm liking it. So this is pretty much how the chassis looks. Obviously everything's mocked up. This thing is nowhere near to be complete, but I'm getting there slowly. Today I just made the base plate out of 3/16 aluminum. Looks real good. Alright, everybody, so I got the base plate all cut out. Here's the piece right here. Like I said before, I'm using 3/16 aluminum, so that'll be bolted in. This thing will be super strong. So here's the base plate, quick mock-up with the rear axle. That's how the gears will look. The axle runs pretty close, as you can see right there. I don't think that'll be a problem later on. I think it's enough clearance. But that's really the only sketchy part about this whole thing. So that's good. And as you may know, it's almost been a year since I made a trophy truck video. Maybe half of you guys don't even know I have this thing. Believe it or not, this is technically my first nitro, as I did buy this engine 2 years ago before the channel, and actually started working on this thing before the channel. And my first video had this truck in it. I believe it is about this truck. That's another fun fact that you didn't really have to know. Might as well take a close-up on the engine. I'm not going to open anything up, but it is a brand new LRP 28. It's the clutch bell right there. I do have the low-C buggy nut on the end to just get the perfect shim. There is zero play at all. That thing is perfect. Got to match with the flywheel pretty good. I have 3-shoe aluminum clutch shoes in there. And I gotta say, the main reason why I bought this engine was the cooling head. Which most of you can all agree, this is a beautiful cooling head. Thankfully, this cooling head will be under a cage where it won't get scratched. And the transmission I'm using, again, cheap, you know. I'll probably strip out these gears. I don't know, maybe they'll hold up. Yeah, nothing too special. I actually did have to double up the disc brake because this thing's going to be pretty heavy. I'm suspecting maybe 14 pounds this truck's going to weigh. Which I'm hoping 2 disc brakes are going to be enough to slow this thing down. I'm not expecting the brakes to lock up because they're so little. I am hoping it'll stop it so I don't crash. Might as well talk about the cage for you guys if you haven't heard. So I did weld this cage. Everything's MIG welded. They were pretty globby back then, but I was able to smooth them all down. That one still is. Same thing with that one. Can I get around it? But anyway, my work's not perfect. I'm no professional welder. I'll be open about it too. As you can see, these welds are pretty awful. You can see all the pits in them. Even though these ones came out pretty good. Yeah, guys, so the whole structure, this is all 3/16 rod. I purchased cold rolled rod as it's stronger and is actually a more consistent diameter than hot rolled. The whole design of the steel cage, it was mostly just out of my brain. I did make a wooden dowel structure, as you can see right here. Which that was a long time ago. That was 2 years ago when I made the wooden dowel structure. Then 2 years ago I started the welding on this. And it still isn't finished. I got to weld up a cross member right here, then make a bumper. And that's really it actually. It's just the front I gotta finish up. The rear should be all good. Except for welding up all the bolt mounts for the plate and all the suspension to hook onto this. My whole plan is to have that plate just drop down with the engine. As you can see, the drive shaft just slides out from the rear end. And it will just slide right out, and the rear end and front suspension will stay attached. The only thing I'd have to do is disconnect the servo wire. Other than that, everything's all good. Having the base plate drop down with the engine and everything will just make maintenance on the engine a lot easier. Alright, so I'll start by giving you a little update on the suspension. Right here, I have the caster block, which is STRC aluminum. And then right here is Hot Racing, which obviously is also aluminum. I will be soon looking for some metal ones, but nothing really wrong with the RPM stuff. They're just as good. And the rear end, Hot Racing shocks. They have the SSD trailing arms. Those are pretty good. Go well with this axle. This axle is the SSD axle, which have the locker in it. Pretty nice. And the sway bar right here, which I'm not sure if it'll do much, but I got it anyway. Mostly because it looks cool. This is the Reefs RC sway bar. Mostly meant for crawlers. I'm going to try it on the trophy truck. See how it drifts, see how it does, and I'll swap it out with a thicker sway bar. I do really like these SSD axles. It looks super nice. It's different when you hold it. Definitely feels sturdy and strong. Alright guys, so the new parts just came in. Got my whole rear end, spare axles, bearings. I bought all the internals a long time ago. I don't even know if you can get these Hot Racing diff lockers. Yeah guys, so there's the new housing. Looks pretty sweet. These SSD housings are really nice. And for 109 bucks compared to all the competitors, it's actually not a bad deal. Alright people, so this is everything that comes with it. Right here are your pinion bearings. Pretty nice. These are the axles. I'm going to keep these sealed in the bag. All the bolts they need to assemble all this. Here's your diff cover right here. And the housing. I'll be putting this all together now, so it'll be ready to drop in when I got the rear suspension all set up in the trophy truck. Alright people, the bearings are in, so those will now be going in there. Sweet. So the axle's all hooked up, the locker is in, and this thing's pretty sweet, I gotta say. I love putting new parts together. It's real nice. Anyway guys, so there's my update for the trophy truck. And don't worry, I won't forget about this thing, hopefully. And take my word for it, you will see another video of this. If not, shame on me. I should be working on this thing, as I've spent enough money on this thing, then that thing over there. That thing should be all good, as long as I don't crash it. Because that's really all that's holding me up, because I keep crashing that thing. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll continue to work on this, so stay tuned for more videos. Also, feel free to check out my LST videos, as this is right now my best RC car. And also, you gotta give the buggy some love too. And I fixed the light that I broke earlier. That's all fixed now.